100 homemade planes, but how many will fly? First up, III from Switzerland. The aircraft on its way, and just look at the distance they're covering. Fantastic stuff from III, the sheer wingspan. The weight of it carrying its way from the pier into the water. An incredible amount of distance covered for this team. Obviously seeing the team members drop into the water, then observing it coasting its way. Next up we have Los Fidios Chamuscos from Spain. Oh my goodness, not covering any ground at all. Too much weight at the front end, the trolley falling into the water. A non-starter from the word go, but they gave it a great effort. Essentially the flight craft black flipping. And that brings an end to their run. Next up, the Beaverton boys from the United States of America. This looks very front heavy, this one. Hopefully it won't take a nosedive. Oh, yes it does. My goodness me. Well, they are true sportsmen, I have to tell you, but unfortunately for them, the wind unable to carry them. Maybe plane of stealth. Maybe they'll fare better. No, not quite. Oh no! The plane didn't even take off. It's hanging in there on the pier. The pilot has been unseated. It's trapped in the net by the wheel. Next is Red Baron and Snoopy from New Zealand. Would it fly like a Red Baron? Oh, it's taken off. Brilliant stuff. The hang glider effect paying off for this team and crashing into the water. Well done, Red Baron and Snoopy. The hang glider effect used to great effect. And into the drink, but they carried so much distance with this one. Next up, the leg rescue team from Hong Kong. Wheeling it towards the edge of the pier, but the flight craft is gone! Oh no! They didn't even get into the air. But good to see the pilot out of the water and all okay. Let's just have a look at this. Even way before, well, before the trolley had exited the pier, the craft went down. The pilot taking a tumble. I'm Amakacha are next. Oh, that's different. Like a cannon shot out of the front, the Italian team. Something very unorthodox. Almost like a catapult cannon effect. Three members of the team pulling it down, trying to shoot their pilot out of the front end. No one could catch I'm Amakacha. Possibilities are coming from the USA. They'll be hoping this dragon will let fly and carry them the distance as they look to get prepared to wheel the craft off the pier. Here they go. Possibilities are coming. The only possibility is no possibility. Into the water. I would say that's a minus distance right there. Goodness me. The right hand of the wing catching the pier, bringing them backwards, not forwards. I mean, the look of the craft is spectacular. But less said about the distance covered, the better. Next up, slingshot pilots. The German outfit with once again a typical aerodynamic plane style. Almost replicants of the Red Baron. Over the pier they go. Oh, this is magnificent. Carrying the speed, the weight obviously correct, the distribution. Sensationally done. The slingshot pilots. Incredible stuff from the German team. Plan B camper from Spain. Oh, the wind could just catch them on an upwards breeze. They managed to get off the pier, but no distance covered. Just see the pilots at the front just trying to remove some of the polystyrene to give them some visibility. Just far too much weight, I think, pulling it back. And as opposed to the wind carrying them, due to the weight distribution at the rear end, lifting the wings upwards, they couldn't carry any distance at all. The Neanderthals are up next. Well, any Neanderthal will be proud of this, but maybe not so much the distance. They do get off the pier and they celebrate. Credit to the team for this. Just managing to get over the line past the first bollard. 9 and 10s though, all round. Sharknado, Velado next from Spain. Oh, they've already had some issues here. The wing just buckling slightly. Just resetting, ready to go again. Now, it doesn't look like the most stable of aircrafts, I do have to say. But they're going to let it go. Again, the wing looks dodgy. No, that's not going to work. Into the water. The wing breaking on impact. Well, it's a very ambitious design. Perhaps not, executed in the best fashion. The trolley falling from underneath. The wing was not stable. Team Burton from Hong Kong are up next. And this doesn't look like it's flight ready. They push it over the edge and straight into the water. Plenty of laughs and hilarity from the sidelines for the Hong Kong team. Team Burton straight into the drink. When Blowfish fly, they're next from the USA. A big airbag by the looks of it. It'll float, but it won't fly. But excellent effort as far as creativity goes. Frequent flyers from Germany. Yet another hang glider effect, and they're going to go the distance by the looks of this. Oh! They take flight, and frequent flyers showing their expertise. A tremendous effort from this Germanic team. Look at the roars from the crowd, and for good reason. This was spectacular. Again, that hang gliding effect, similar design, and it pays off for them. Brilliantly distributed. They go the distance. Next up, Pharaohs from Kuwait. Now, when you associate Pharaohs, you associate them with pyramids, not necessarily aircrafts, and in they go. Straight away, the wings breaking. Monkey Ballers from the USA. Oh, no. Oh, my goodness. Well, the curvature of the flight craft itself, maybe not best aligned with allowing the airflow to obviously allow it to fly. Of course, when the nose is down, you're very unlikely to take it all the way. The Wright sisters and X, of course, obviously coincides with the Wright brothers as such. This is from the USA, but it's not going to fly like a Wright brothers aircraft. It will indeed sink into the drink. Just too much weight on the back end. The distribution not quite there. Straight into the water they go. Baby truck up next from the USA. Fashioned on a New Holland piece of farming machinery. Oh, no way. The trolley going from underneath. They can't even get off the pier properly. It's backwards for Baby Truck. Just lifting off from the stall that's meant to take it off the pier. Next up, Vinyl Frontier from the USA. Oh, no. Well, extraterrestrials on board, but they don't take any extra territory. The Vinyl Frontier finds its way into the water. DC3 up next from New Zealand. A team from the Southern Hemisphere and already having issues, it seems. They've taken one of their, what looks to be one of their engines off the back of the plane. That's never a promising sign if you're on an aircraft. They're now looking to fly it off the edge of the pier now. Here comes DC3. Oh, they cover some reasonable ground, and it floats. Well, well, well. Ladies and gentlemen, this is your captain speaking. Brilliant effort from this team. DC3 putting on a show. Pink ribbon flyers from the United States of America too, all dressed up in pink. Let's hope it doesn't sink. Through they go. Oh, straight down a nosedive. Just could not quite get the elevation required. Of course, the ever popular hang glider design not quite able to help them on this occasion. Just couldn't quite get the lift and couldn't carry the airflow. Team Flying Blacks from Switzerland. Now this is a very interesting design. Part wood, I must say, very fine piece of engineering, and they're going to try and float it onwards, just not quite enough lift. But it was magnificently built. Thumbs up from Team Flying Blacks. It looked at the initial that it was going to work. The pilot getting stuck in the water. Tidy Beaches are next from Canada. Wheeled off the pier. Oh, they've lost the wing. They're just going to throw in the wheelbase itself. The gliding part didn't even go. They're going to send someone else with it this time, but straight into the water. Tentacle Titans from South Africa. Again. Oh, they've got lift. And it's off. Tentacle Titans able to go a little bit further than the trolley did. Live fly from Bulgaria. Looks a very complex. Oh my goodness, it fell apart before it even fell off the pier. This fly lost its wings. And straight into the water. Max Fly next from Spain. It's basically a bed. That's all it is. Nothing there to carry the distance. But toppling into the water. The only wings on this one were the ones attached to the bed frame itself. No chance of it carrying any aero. Next up, Go, Japan. They'll be hoping that this one will go the distance. But I can't see this one quite doing it. Oh no, are they even going to get off the pier? There's the wings gone, where's the rest of it? They're keeping the trolley up there for now. The pilot's already gone. But it looks like Go are going home. I mean, last time I checked, the pilot was supposed to be under the wings, not the other way around. Next up, the Flying Dutchman. And not from the Netherlands, they're from Switzerland. And they're taking off. Stunning stuff. Brilliant job from the Flying Dutchman. The pilot in the water. But they covered some distance. Magnificent stuff. Again, the pilot's on top of the wings, which is quite unique in many ways. Next up, Back to the Future. Will Doc Brown have the answer? This team from Turkey with a DeLorean fashioned with the wings on top. Doc Brown behind the wheel. There's now Great Scott, they're in the water. But they covered a little bit of distance. Quite a bit more than some. Next up, Pro Divine from Bulgaria. My goodness, now they've toppled the pilots into the net. Just could not balance it before exiting the pier. Now let's see if they do throw it off the edge. They certainly do, into the water. Well, it's separated from the trolley. They made some distance. Pro Divine from Bulgaria doing their level best. Next up, flight test from the USA. Now, another plane fashion design. And this one could potentially do something, not quite. Around about the 50 points. Just not quite enough lift to carry the plane any further. But they get a full 10 score, 10s across the board. Fly So Far from South Africa come next. To a raucous applause from the crowd. They have liftoff. Oh my goodness me. The craft stays up. The team go down. And they float. They fly it off anyway. My goodness. Next up, the Flying Lobster from the USA. Lobsters can't fly. They might today, though, and indeed they'll try. Oh, into the water. And that has surpassed the 80 point for my reckoning. Great effort from the Flying Lobster. A brilliant effort from the United States team. Pulse of Offal from Norway. Will this homemade plane be able to fly? This looks like an ice cream, basically a typical ice cream treat of sorts. Anyone for strawberry? Pulse of Offal from Norway, Scandinavian. Will it fly? Into the water they go. Just past the 25 point. Well, full display of creativity. Perfect for the Red Bull Flugtag. The distance, perhaps, not quite so much. And we got Mad Max from the United States. Plenty of wingspan on this one, and yes, they've carried a little bit of distance. Not bad at all from Mad Max. As the trolley came away, this very well put together rig sent into the water. If it just had a little bit more lift, it could have gone a lot further. But credit to the team for their bold effort. Marina Beach from Spain are next. A wooden frame. Oh, it's going the wrong way. It's going the wrong way. No! Oh no, it's gone. Into the water they go. Marina Beach. They find Marina all right. Well, misery for Marina Beach. Into the water, off the pier. Not covering any ground. Here are the Red Bull Flugtag. Next up, Grand Theft UFO. Now, will this fly this time? Well, not like that it won't. The rear end slamming into the ground. They'll get going again, though. Hopefully. This will go like a UFO. My goodness, the trolley right on the brink of toppling into the water, and they're going to lose this. I think they're trying to get it off the ground. In they go. Oh, no. Well, that's more of a Grand Theft Auto crash, if anything. But credit to Grand Theft UFO from Canada. They gave it a grand effort.
I was expecting just a touch more if they had.
But into the water, no distance really covered. Next up, Nacho team. Will this might be Nacho Day. Will they fly? Here for the Italian outfit now. Oh, the hang glider effect, it worked to a reasonable degree. The trolley in the water, so is the craft. But the hang glider effect, very, very strong here in the Red Bull Flugtag. Next up, Magic Scouts bus. They'll be looking to bus in the scores. Now, we know the bus isn't going to fly. They'll be hoping, though, that the wings above it do. Will it fly this time? The Spanish team go, and into the water. Not bad. A solid effort. It didn't look like there was a lot of flexibility in those wings to carry any breeze in the sense of lightweight lining, but it stayed together. The team giving a grand effort. The bus went in first. So automatically, they would be hoping for some kind of lift to carry it some distance. And they covered a little bit. A series of 9s and 8s on the scores by the judges. Next up, Varchilo from Bulgaria. Will this one fly now? Again, another hang glider type, but not quite as far as the others. Varchilo covering a little bit of distance. It looked prosperous in the beginning. Unfortunately, took far too much of a nosedive. Next up, Vichinsata from Bulgaria. Will this one go this time? No, into the water straight away. Applause from the crowd nonetheless. This bird don't fly. Not on this occasion. Off the pier, into the drink. But good to see, they're all in good spirits. Michi Motorsport from Romania. Now, this looks intriguing. Will this fly? Let's find out together. Here comes Michi Motorsports. Oh no, they got that upwards lift. Too much weight, I think, on the front, well, on the rear end, if anything. And the flexibility of the front nose just flicking upwards, catching the breeze. That craft was not going anywhere further. Just looked like a paper plate caught in the wind. Next up, Thunderstruck. Will this be a blockbuster just like AC/DC's version? Hailing from South Africa, will this fly now as they come off the pier? Too much of a nosedive. Directly into the water. Well, the design looked good, just not enough wingspan or certainly enough airflow to carry it forwards. Ultra Gliders next from Switzerland. Now this looks like this one could work. Oh no! Oh, my goodness me! Oh, the pilot. The pilot went before the craft. He left it behind. And there's one remaining team member just stood on top of the pier. He thought, I'm not having any of this. I'm staying right here. The rest of the team barreling into the water. I dream of Janine from the USA. They've covered some ground. Brilliant for the pilot. Oh, the true test of stamina, and it paid off. He hung in there. His toes just trickling into the water. He lifted his feet up, managed to gather a little bit of extra distance. And he dreamed a dream, all right. Diving header from Japan. Fashioned after a footballer. Surely this isn't going to fly. No! Straight into the water it goes. Oh, they're good sports. That's a diving header if I've ever seen one. Diving header by name and by nature. Spectacular. Next up, Red Butterfly from Bulgaria. Plenty of wingspan on this one, but the shape perhaps not ideal into the water. The Red Butterfly will not fly. Instead, straight down. They did cover a tiny bit of ground. Just a bit of a strange shape. Dave Storr up next in the USA. Will this one fly? The wings look good. But it covers a little bit of ground. The trolley coming from underneath it, it took off, but was always just drifting downwards. And Dave Storr had it slammed shut, coming into the 100 mark. Next up, the Bavarian boys here in the Red Bull Flugtag. The USA team with a yet another hang glider effect on show. It's been so good. Oh, it still remained caught though on the trolley. It wasn't going to garner anything. It was still technically attached and dragged down right at the start. And it wasn't really given much of an opportunity to go much further. There you can see it just being pulled on the rear, but given a series of 9s and 10s. AV8 from USA. Plenty of wingspan on this one. Will it go the distance? They did find a little bit of ground. The trolley jumping in first, but AV8 managing to garner a tiny bit of territory out there on the water. Next up, Jim Bros from the USA. Oh my goodness, well, it flew, just not quite the way you would have necessarily expected it. There goes the trolley. They don't need that, they say. Will Jim Bros fly? It doesn't look like the most stable of aircrafts. They're going from side to side. The rear wing is gone. They're just going to chuck it straight in. No pilot. Hydro pullers from Spain next. This hand kite, will it make it all the way? Let's find out. The 14 members pushing the pilot off the pier. Where's it gonna go? Where's it gonna go? In the water is where it'll go. Hydro pullers pulled straight down off the pier and into the hydro as well for good measure. But a great effort from this Spanish team. It just looked a little bit small, not quite enough wingspan. An almighty splash though. Happy Sheep up next from Bulgaria. Thrown into the water, straight into the drink. And this sheep goes bye-bye. Right into the water off the pier. Fishy business. They won't want to catch anything. Apart from distance, they've got 2 pilots, I think, taking this one. No trolley required. These 2 are going solo, but how will the weight distribution work with this one? Let's find out. Plenty of room at the front end. They go backwards. Oh! The front end lifting up. Well, very fishy business indeed. But nothing fishy about the result, I think, based on what we saw as they ran up towards the edge of the pier. Heavenly lads, will they reach the heavens with this aircraft, this Bulgarian team? The trolley's wheeled away. The huge size on this aircraft, and they're going some distance. Well, had the balance been a little bit better, I think they could have gone further. Well, next up, chat time. Insanity from Canada. Hopefully there won't be insanity, only victory for this team. Will it be the case? The hang glider effect on show. Nosedive into the water, but they covered a little bit of ground, surpassing the 25, nearing the 50. Here in the Red Bull Flugtag. Namahaj also into the drink. The Japanese team giving it a great effort. And it did catch some wind, didn't it? The wing breaking as it made impact with the water. Next up, Dalton's escape from Turkey. The trolley goes in. Oh, the pilot leaves his craft. Just didn't have his hands on the bars. The fans giving them a round of applause. What could have been? I'm sure they're wondering. The Batmobile. Jiminy Jawilika's Batman from the USA. Will this one fly? The Batmobile is for the road, not for water. And indeed, it doesn't want to go in, but they give it a push anyway. It's made some distance. We'll give them that. And in they go into the drink. Ninos Perdidos from Spain into the water straight away. Brilliant effort nonetheless. They covered a little bit of ground. It still floats as well. Kind of fashioned after what looks to be a pirate ship. But they didn't set sail necessarily that far, though they are floating across the top of the water. Lots of applause for this Spanish team here at the Red Bull Flugtag. Blank space from Hong Kong. Now, this isn't the Taylor Swift song we're talking about here. Will this aircraft fly? Into the water they go. Not quite the distance they probably would have wanted to cover. The pilot protected in a dome, cruising into the water. It is floating though. So credit to that, well, credit for that. Winnie Hutt Jr. from the United States of America, they're up next. Now, how's this one gonna go? Into the water straight away. Well, fashioned with what looks to be a chip bucket in the middle between two wings. Far too much weight, I'd imagine, and the distribution fairly uneven. It was automatically pulling to its right-hand side. Farvel from Norway, hailing from Scandinavia. Will this one fly? We've seen the hang gliders work to great effect before, and they're going to try again. Oh, into the water they go. Well, Farvel didn't travel very far, making solid impact with the water below. Baby Airlines next from Spain, and again the hang glider effect on show, but it breaks in the middle. And what looks to be a seagull's face on the front end finds its way into the H2O. Baby Airlines managing to gather a baby amount of space in terms of the distance they covered. But they're good sports. An A-star for effort, we'll say that. Next up, Ohio Surf Squad. Surfs up here for the USA team. Where will this one go? Flying off the edge of the pier, surfboard, surfs up, and it is floating. Credit for that, but they don't cover much distance for the Ohio Surf Squad. Their spirits not shattered by any means. Straight into the water, but tens all round. Now next up, Dragon from Bulgaria, and it's not breathing fire because it's down in the water. A straight nosedive. Unlike most Dragons, this one didn't want to fly. Kentucky Flying Colonels from USA. Will the Colonel fly? He will, but not in the manner he would have expected. Lovely design. Straight into the nose. Or a straight nosedive into the water anyway. Next up, Homunculus Spoos from Switzerland into the drink. Straight away. But a great effort from this team. Quite a lot of weight carried with that trolley as well. They managed to break free of it anyway. Living lands and waters in the USA. They'll be hoping that they'll live above the water here. Will this one fly? The trolley goes, but the wings unable to take him much further. They covered a tiny bit of ground just after the 25, heading towards the 50. They gave it a great effort. The pilot embracing an Evel Knievel style of trouser. Next up, El Chiringuito. Now, footballs are only meant to fly after they've been kicked. Let's see if this one will. Small wings, no! Straight into the drink. Penalty, referee. Send him off. Incredible. Credit to the Spanish team, El Chiringuito. A star for effort. A dive, though. They make their way into the drink. The wingspan not there. But the ball being smashed into the back, not necessarily of the net, but into the water below. But a fabulous design that was ultimately smashed. Da Vinci's dream. Will this be an artistic performance? From South Africa they go. Oh, he's hanging on, but they go in nonetheless. My goodness. The tail getting pulled back. 3-4-5, free fall fly. Hong Kong, let's see whether this will fly though. Here they go. Oh, it's carrying some distance. Not bad, not bad. Credit to the pilot. It managed to balance itself almost with the ballast underneath, with the pilot just in front of it, and scores well. Bergzerg from Bulgaria. Let's see how this one's going to go. They're going to try and shoot it off the edge of a ramp. Oh, the pilot flies into the drink. Ultimately, the almost slingshot effect, trebuchet-esque, getting launched into the air, and the human cannonball finds its way into the water. Aviadores de la Malvada Monotremata from Spain. Oh, that's not going anywhere. Into the drink. They gave it a good go. The googly eyes only looking one way, and that was down. But didn't they just try? Obviously not able to pick up the breeze or the wind flow to carry the craft any further forward. Flying Sweet Corn from Hong Kong comes next. Very fascinating looking design, this one. Oh, straight in. Well, well, well. Just a complete nosedive, and you're not going to catch any aero like that. Last time I checked, Sweet Corn doesn't fly, it grows in fields. They couldn't grow the distance though, jumping off the pier. But a series of nines, cracking design. As next up come the Cardinals from Kuwait. Now, this one looks very promising. Plenty of wingspan on this one. The pilot sets off. They cover some distance. Brilliant stuff. The fans go wild as the Cardinals managed to cover some distance. They could have gone further if the trolley perhaps hadn't pulled down on that rear wing. But a clap from everyone on the sidelines. Next up, Harnas from Switzerland. Will this one fly? Can they harness something? It comes too further forward. The aero not quite working. It looked like in the initial, if it had balanced, they could have covered some more distance. But well harnessed on top of the craft. Next up, Birkians from Canada. Now this looks like a bat. A flying bat, I believe, as we're now watching them fly off the edge of the pier. Oh, well, there we go. It did make some distance, just after the 25. Fantastic design from the Birkians. Big smiles on the front of the craft. Fantastic design, just could not quite make it work. It did float on the water though, so maybe points for that. Next up is Sushi Roll from Turkey. Sushi does belong in the sea, and indeed it will go into the sea. Well, no wings, you're not going to catch much aero, but nonetheless a creative design. Next up, the Buffoons from the USA. Hang glider looking one. Now this This flight craft is made up of all sorts of things. In they go, into the drink for the buffoons. Now that's far from buffoonery, if you ask me. This is what the Red Bull Flugtag is all about. Creativity, bravery, commitment. Next up, Super Taco from Taco Bell, Spain. Who can say no to a taco? Let's find out. Into the water. Not enough wingspan. Perhaps there was too much filling on the inside. This taco crashing into the sea. The pilot ultimately jumping out of the center of the cockpit in a shroud of lettuce. It fell top heavy downwards. Those wings not built to take the air. A broken taco shell, that's for sure. Team de Bosch from Italy. Now, a straw built. Looks to be straw, wood, if anything. Almost a Wicker Man approach. Team de Bosch now looking to fly off the pier. Will this one fly? Oh my goodness, well, it didn't do too badly. The pilot very nearly falling forwards through it, but this one surprises me. Not necessarily the materials you'd expect to see being utilised as part of an aircraft. Looks like a tremendous amount of work went into that one. Bananarama from Switzerland up next. Good source of potassium in building this one. Will it fly though? Off the edge of the pier. Yes, it might. A little bit of distance covered. Not bad, Bananarama. The rest of the team jumping in. Peeling off the edge of the pier. Bananarama able to cover a little bit of ground out there on the water. Right, it's party time. Because this group have the right to party from the USA. Will they be partying at the end of this run? Off the edge of the pier. Oh, it snapped right in the middle. And I think they landed right on top of the trolley as well. Not quite, maybe. In fact, they did. Bullseye. Pretty much from right to party. Ready for Steakoff from Switzerland. I like mine medium rare. Where's this one going? Oh, into the drink. The wing breaking off. Well, if the wing hadn't broke, it may have done slightly better. It was veering to the left all the time. Just couldn't quite send it in the right direction. Maybe Godmother can do something from Romania. Will it be a fairy Godmother and fly? No! Straight into the water. A spectacular nosedive. Almost a forward roll. Just the wingspan unable to drift it higher into the sky. Instead, veering off the pier. Milkshake from Spain. All smiles as they look to kick off. Will it be a venture into the froth? Let's find out. Milkshake. Oh! Shaken but not stirred. Here for Milkshake. Straight away, finding their way into the drink. Next up is TikTok from Japan, obviously based on a Los Angeles Lakers basketball player, it seems, and a big shoe underneath as well. This one is gonna dunk straight in. I would give him 3 points for that, though it is 2 points for a dunk. Straight away, off the edge of the pier. That's not finding the hoop. Team Emboss from the USA. They come next. Oh, they did cover a little bit of ground again. A dragonfly sort of style. Unfortunately, I don't think the wings were quite wide enough to cover the arrow. Coconut Pirates are next from the USA. Now, coconuts tend to fall, generally, but this one looks like it's got some decent wingspan. In they go. Did cover a little bit of ground. After the 25, the trolley came away. Big appreciation for the rooster suit. And they're happy with that result. And what a reaction from the crowd as well. Coconut Pirates rightfully in the sea and with a series of 9s of 110. Next up, Tree of Life from Slovenia. Wrong way. Oh, into the water. Well, the Tree of Life not going the right way, but the My Manta, maybe. The New Zealand team could do something a little different. They get wheeled off the edge of the pier, straight forward, and in they go. No way near enough wingspan, I think, on that aircraft to go much further. But they gave it a good go. Built on what looks to be a manta ray. And they float quite successfully, so we'll give the My Manta credit for that. Next up, Thunderdome from the USA. Now, let's see how well this wing design works. In they go, the car goes below, and they just surpass the 25. Just think the weight distribution again was slightly wrong on this one. It picked up a lot of the air that swept it upwards. But indeed, welcome to the Thunderdome. Jurassic Power from Romania. A dragon-styled hang glider, and the heads come off the dragon. Or at least the dinosaur, I think, based on his name, Jurassic Power. And backwards into the water. Next up is Give You from Japan. Will it give them a big result as they fly into the water? Some bits breaking off. Unable to fly much further. They drop into the water. But plenty of applause from the crowd. Perhaps a little bit too much weight down the centre for the wings to carry it. But it will indeed float on the water surface. Credit to the pilots. An intriguing design. And a hand of appreciation. Next up, Nooper from the USA. Now, if I'm not mistaken, that's the toilet roll down below. Hopefully, it'll be absorbent for them. As now they look to come off the edge of the pier. They let fly. Oh, the wings just unable to stay sturdy. Straight into the water, unable to carry much distance. Just a bit too weak in the centre. Not braced. The Jukebox Heroes next from the USA. Now, the pilot resting on top. Will they be able to crank out a tune? Looks like a giant record that they're flying on right now. Oh, nosedive, straight in. My goodness. Well, they certainly could crank out a tune. Not sure it's one of success, but they gave it a great effort. Next up, Valiero from Italy. Plenty of wingspan on this one. A very unique and intrinsic design. This one looks like a big fish on the front end. That part is meant to swim with a giant pirate ship on top. Straight in, far too much weight. The wings unable to support it. The weight dragging it down straight into the drink. Next up is Sumo Wrestlers from Japan. Again, built on weight, but the craft didn't even go. The people did. Well, the craft just leaving them all behind. The pilot himself out the front door. Nowhere for the sumo to go, except downwards and into the drink. My goodness me. I think the pilot covered more ground.